And Gen G are the heavy, heavy favorites here. I mean, this is an Ascent map that they are potentially the best in the world at, I think, currently, for teams at the event.
Yeah.
They look so damn good, and for Sentinels, as much as there's not been a lot of tape on them with this comp, it is not a good map right now for them. They have to come out with some miracles, and it has to start here with the pistol round.
They've gone for that double sheriff approach.
And a double fight out through, straight from tiles. Does not work out in their favor. Player disadvantage now.
Munchkin figuring out, how can I go for a lurk against this? It's a decent counter to what Munchkin was doing on the previous map, but also the fact that the wall is used so early. Generally, you want to be playing slow attack sides against the deadlock, and the wall struggles to get value.
Lakia might be considering a drone up close here. John, was that a grab net? Slow down the approach here. There's a flash overhead as well, but now looking to try and anchor back in a way. Sassy supplementing it. Couple of shots now fired off and Rassel's in through the smoke. No punish just yet. Still dropping down low, but it all lays down now into the lap of John QT. What can he do? A lot of players now here in the drop down, skipping a hop right through, and it does set up the bait and switch. Caron happy to oblige, straight in there. Now the plant coming online.
Zelsis coming around behind as well. Are they going to think about B main when they just exec from this?
Frostfire, it should be nice. Not quite. Munchkin was the only one to actually collect any sort of B main presence. Now walking his way through, baiting, Texture, dropping back in a way, Texture and Caron. These guys have been difference makers. And once more, they're going to stand to the test here. The dart is avoided and dodged to the back, and the shots just not connecting for Sassy. Only 4 HP and a dream it will just remain to be. It's a pistol round for Gen G. Nothing out of the ordinary for this squad.
Not at all. 3 out of 3 in the series. I think it would be wrong to say that Haven came down to the pistol rounds. I think Gen G were the better team there. But an entire series where you don't win pistols is almost impossible to win. Sen need to be working on these. They didn't get a good beginning to it, and Gen G managed to close it out there towards the end as well. Just hitting good shots, double body shots all over the place with those sheriffs.
Gamble here by Sentinels. Knife not dodged just by Zelsis, I believe. He's the only one who looks like he is suppressed right now. Hoping that Gen G might just walk into it, but yeah, listen, they weren't born yesterday, but this team are too diligent.
It's quite a nice trap play though, because if the cam is found over towards B, you're expecting trap plays to be run off the Cypher cam usually. And this one's off deadlock contact. So I think there's a chance that it gets value, especially considering Munchkin and Karen's positioning. But right now, they're not taking an inch.
No steps forwards. Waiting it out. Making either team stew, to be honest. It's a series of unknowns going through their heads.
And as TenZ takes contact, this whole trap is going to fall to pieces.
Paranoia in his hands. He's just jiggling out with the util. Does get a good connection. 3 players going to be pushed back and away, and a TP as well for himself. Just to disengage. Grab net, calling. The play is made. Caron! You got to be joking. Just with that sheriff in hand. Goodness me. Even when the ideas are good, even when they try and go for the preemptive strike, it's still not good enough. I gotta see that again. Show it from his POV or something, man. I mean,
the amount of 4Ks that we're seeing coming out from Gen G as well, where one player just steps up and takes over the round. Yeah. Karen's got 8 kills already. What on earth are we watching? And that means they've got 3 rifles for the bonus too. I mean, take a look at these shots. Gravnet comes out.
Listen, dude, I mean, come on. I know it's against an eco, but still, as a Gravnet, he's locked down in place.
Yeah.
He's ice cold.
Sentinels, Odin comes online for Sassy. He can try to reinforce the B site. It's super difficult to get through right now. A nice shock dart from Lakia as well, getting rid of that sonic sensor. I don't think John pulled it back in time. B looks devastatingly difficult to hit though, especially if Sassy was Odin wallbanging this, but he is rotating off.
Yeah, timing potentially missed there for Sentinels up through mid. Gen G has the makings of a B split, putting a lot of pressure and asks onto Zelsis.
So the cam covers this. Off cam contact, Sassy can spam, but it's not a great spam angle. It's good for damage, not good for kills usually.
That tags onto Zelsis. The setup is going to be dropped down and away here, walking through.
I say that.
Zazi, bit of spam damage. Just through the choke point. Gen G's still going to get easy access though to that B site, so Plant will be online and inside for them second. Biding his time, hoping that somebody will just open themselves up, but as the doors drop down, Texture! You gotta be joking!
You're not allowed to do that!
There's no way! Running and gunning inside the Cloudburst. Taking names. 4v4. And too much to clear, surely. Meteor crouched up. This is unorthodox in terms of the angle, and of course it is. Rips them all away.
Dismantling all of the trap setups here, taking out the cam early, making sure that Sassy doesn't have that wallbang spot. He goes over, gets a kill in the other side, and then Gen G are pulling kills out of really unexpected spots. The one from Texture, I'm sorry, that one's illegal. That one is illegal. But Meteor's play as well, it's so nice. They've got Karen ready to back him up if indeed he needed it.
Yeah.
Texture is also there playing aggro. It's not just a solo play, that. And yet, even if it was a solo play, he still would have won the round for them. That's the power of this Gen G team.
Right here.
Each of their players has got such a nice read on the game. And I think we don't remember enough what player development they've done too. Meteor was a bit of an all-aim, no-brain duelist player before he joined this team.
Certainly was.
Now, all of the aim and a brain to match.
Yeah, and a team as well that's just right there beside him. All on the same page. Cooking up plays together. They're aware of just any obstacles that might face them as well. You can see it just the way that they even approach rounds like this. It's against an eco round. A lot of teams will sometimes just run it straight into a site, full disrespect. But Gen G, they slow it down. They make sure that they can methodically try and pick apart what at least Sentinels are doing. If there were any concerns, I think, about Gen G potentially being shaky in home soil and a home crowd, listen, that was kind of pushed back at Shanghai when they were literally the villains. All the way through, it's an open side again over towards A.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, what incredible range of emotions that they will have experienced in their last two international events. Madrid, a crowd that was neutral towards them. Shanghai, a crowd that disdained them, I think. And then here, where they're the hometown heroes.
The idols, man, on the big stage.
I was walking in today, and as they rolled up, some fans, it's like the back of the building where people don't really, you know, think to come. It's not like Gen G announced what time they were going to arrive at the venue.
Yeah.
People, fans from Seoul, clustered, watching them exit the van, screaming at the Gen G players. This team is popular out here.
Absolutely.
And they'll be even more popular if they have a big run at champs. Or even if we can dare to dream, if they can dare to dream, lift the trophy.
They've already done it once. First time it's been done for Pacific. That was Gen G who did it. Despite the expectations, I think most of us were probably looking towards a team like PaperX, maybe even DRX at points to be that team. But they've had a crazy story from the beginning of this year where the expectations were honestly at their lowest here, and a lot's going to be asked for again of TenZ to smoke down. What is that? Adjustment and expectation for Texture, but he's already in through the site, and the main players happy to fire through and follow up on all of it. So despite the heroics, it might not even be enough here for Sentinels. No command. Supers its way, but finally fading, and now a very deep lockdown is going to be used by Meteor. Drone broken, slide tag, double faced up and out, but just missing a shot.
Are they even going to get out?
I don't know. Detainment
All
onto three. Yeah, or three.
All three
Time to hunt.
detained.
It's time to chase. They know it. They can feel it. Texture. Time waits out. Oh my. Barely skirting away. It's going to be a comedic finish at around here, potentially. A punishment in sight. There's still time here for Sentinels to make a play towards this one, but second retake with the operator again adds another level of difficulty. It's all about how they manage this one as well. That late backstab that might be occurring from Meteor. Is it going to be caught? Zelsis sticking out onto the fuse, half already. He's brought that WinCon, covering for it over the shoulder. Zelsis dropping him.
There is no way
That's ridiculous.
the Sentinels have just won a round where all three of the retakers got detained. There is no way that I just watched that. There's no chance. I must have got something wrong. Surely that was John Cutie's ultimate. What? The brain is baffled and befuddled.
It all started with TenZ, this guy here. I said he's going to have to do a lot there in that spot, and he did. He delivered. He got the 2 that was needed. And as soon as the detainment wasn't followed up on, offered up an easy kill onto Texture.
I mean, it's not like Texture really could have followed up on it, I don't think.
No, it was so far away.
All right, so that's a bizarre round for Sentinels to get on the board. I don't think you'll ever see anything like that one again. Certainly not replicable, if you want to talk about that. But they keep the Odin. It's magnificent for their economy, which could have been shattered.
Always a way. Start gassing up a team in terms of the storylines about them lifting trophies, and then watch the fumble in place. Operator held, but not the back. Still a few shots fired off as well. That drone has to be broken. Zelsis locks it down, holds the line, and now evacuates back and away. The just bumper bullet straight through the wall, and spam from the Odin will supplement all. That is it. Sentinels, complete control of this B site. Spike dropped down, and with the trip alerting them exactly to where Munchkin's presence is. It's another round that's inevitable here for Sentinels, and at least that second one, Justin Flick missed, at least with the op.
It is inevitable.
It should be. Unless you give him the ones. We're blinded up. TenZ happy to just jump on the chance and pounces straight into mid. So maybe this is what we were looking for from Sentinels.
That was a better defensive setup. When you're running a Cypher deadlock composition, I think most of the time you're going to be wanting to try to hit them as they come through choke points or as they hit your utility. You're looking to follow up on trips, on stuns, to op them or Odin them before they even exit and get into the site. That's one of the rounds where we actually see Sentinels comp functioning. And because Zelsis was able to win a really crucial duel against Meteor too. So what have Gen G got? It's going to be Zekken looking towards top mid, hoping they can get a cheeky one at the beginning against somebody like Meteor.
Drone up though. This will push him back. It needs to be broken by the rifle fire, but it's not done in time. And almost a punishment there. It was an over the top with the knife, almost getting that suppression off. He wouldn't have been able to escape.
Look at this deep trip though. The trip is not where that shock dart just went for it. It's all the way close towards mid. Almost right where Meteor's back was.
Yeah, so luckiest shock darts that he's fired off, offloaded into mid. Not going to be getting too much value. TenZ has to use the TPs, barely out of dodge. Annihilation, there's a connection. Molly down and
that's
through.
the spike.
Texture has to drop them. He's through and out. They're going to try and flood themselves in. Gen G happy to fight them straight back at you. Second, Bladestorm now increasing that tempo and even offered up a rifle. Charon now with the plant. 2v3. Dart fired off. No reveals in sight, but jumps round and through and away with a right click. Zekken, he's on his way to an ace. But Lackey in his back pocket, at least with that Hunter's Fury, he's got that backup plan and policy. Charon still going to be nested up, holding deep tucked onto the A side. It's a difficult player to try and clear. And Sentinels now making a call to double up. They don't have a dart. It's 20 seconds until that arrives, and it's going to be too late if they try and wait this one out and through. Time already ticking. Smoke is just mind games from Charon, making them spam away, and they got to stick this one here, and they still haven't found it. Wincons are just dashed away to the wind. Time? And there is no time. Ticking at this point. Sassy knows it. Gen G with their 5th.
We are seeing some ridiculous situations out here. Watching Lakia be taking out Karen with the Hunter's Fury towards the end, but just making sure that Sova ult was in play, just in case his Smokes player fell in hell. Gen G take another one. And this is a round where it looked like Sentinels, again, their system was working. They got the Annihilation off. It grabbed a player with the spike. But I don't think they were anticipating as heavily that it was an A split and someone could retrieve that player. Pulled out of Shelob's grasp at the final moment. And we're into the next round, where Munchkin, I think, is the player to watch here. That null command is spectacularly powerful against Sentinel's composition. And you see here that John has put his stuns on the exact opposite side of the map.
I'm hoping if the ult does get ripped off out towards the A site, they'll be able to at least play around, like you said, the sensors, the stuns.
In some sense, Zelsis is the bait here. He kind of wants to be seen, be shown, and then you run into A and forget about the deadlock util.
Right here.
Knife over the top. To tag out through main darts. Meteor barely alive. Dyson with death there, buddy. Drop down to 8 health. Will be able to survive though, and now regroup with the rest of his team.
A split, null command. Watch out for these sensors.
Yeah. The pressure's going to be on immediately. What have they got to even answer this? Flash clear. Cam over the top here. No command as well as the dart. Does reveal all. Both players, in fact. TenZ and Zeltis, the position is noted, recognized, stunned up, but there's no follow-up. TenZ, he can't take these easy fights. He's worried about it. He's swung from main as well, picked it apart. I mean, methodical is what you call that. Gen G, there was no easy access, no fair fight to be taken for the anchoring players. Dodging and weaving the entire way through.
The Gen G protocols on the attack, when they hit the A site, they're magnificent. They're always guns out, not scaling too deep into the site, holding, waiting for that peek from the defender, holding heaven, waiting for the backup to arrive. You know, making sure that they're not caught in transition, running forward, trying to rush things.
It's the little jiggles of movement, just trying to bait them out, and it just makes the anchoring players feel so alone.
Yeah. You don't know if someone's going to run at you from left side, from right side Jenny. You don't know if someone's going to run at you from Dice. And the whole time, Gen G are actually just making you afraid, making you swing, and then ready to punish you. It's really excellent stuff. All the best teams in the world are going to have some level of that approach to the A site, but Gen G looking perfect with it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things anyway that makes them best in the world on this map. I think they're
Well, might be that potential for it to spot out these players. Early paranoia lets them take that control out towards A. TenZ in through Y, and he's in danger though. Has to dodge and around, wait, can't survive it. Karen out the back, John QT. That's a bullet to the brain. With him dropped off now, there's possibilities and options are now opening themselves here for Sentinels. The barrier mesh, not to be broken. Doesn't even stop the bullets as well. Still with those sight lines just being set by these Sentinels players. Second's got it.
great adaptation from Sen. Surely Gen G can't recover it.
There's no way.
I mean, John is stuck here.
They know where he is. There's a Nano swarm to try and clear him out of that corner.
If it hadn't missed, John would be a dead man.
And he has called for the reinforcements. Two players ready to at least swing off of his contact. Dart is broken here and through John. Finally delivering the reset from Meteor. Not enough to see he can at least find a way to pave his way to that victory in the round. So Sentinels are still alive. But now it feels like almost every single round is just on the precipice. It's almost incredibly labored, but they are managing to string them together.
Yeah, and I think good, you gotta credit the tactical timeout there. They get TenZ into Wine. Could he have been cleared? Absolutely. Should Texture have maybe waited a second for the fragment grenade to come through? Yeah, also. Yeah. But TenZ does get the value from his positioning there. And on top of that, there are multiple layers of backup. John is fighting it. Zeken's got the op there too. And now Zeken makes his way over with the operator to Cat. Like I said, this is a spot that Gen G have been walking down. If they feel bold enough to go for something where, you know, they can smoke off tiles and have him peek towards top mid, Zeken could try to get more bold than he is. Problem is, normally you need teammates to help you, and this is quite a passive comp.
Yeah.
You don't have a KO player or a Killjoy player that really wants to be holding angles for your op.
Gen G just trying to sow a bit of confusion into this round. They've already inserted Charon right at the beginning. He has a main control. And now looking to see if they can break some of this util towards B, farm up the orbs.
And if he does farm the orb, he'll have the null command.
Are you going to try and fake this one or what? No, Texture's back up towards
because
top mid. Because
Munchkin didn't have ult to start the round, Zelsis is not in an anti-KO ult spot. You know, both Sentinels are playing next to their utility, which means null command is used and all of it goes offline.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to worry about that one when looking like it's heading towards that A side as well, again being called. But it's 30 seconds now into the round. It's getting a bit, I think, a little bit tight here in terms of the timing for Gen G. You have to make a good go of things, and it's all expected. Stack of players are Sentinels.
First time the wall's in the right spot.
Yeah, and there it is, dropping them off. Here with an ult command. It's going to be sweeping through now. Dart around to the side. Texture is not watched for. This guy was already just fast up onto the line, and with all the util down, again, you might as well roll out the red carpet. Plant down now. Gen G are ready. They've got the protocols in place just in case there are signs of that util. Meteor holding it tucked up close as well. There's no follow-up. Again, still up and over. Able to trade it. The door into their face and a full sight defense occurring here by Gen G. Nobody looking to try and repurpose out through A main. Everybody locked onto the sides here, but the one way they choose to fight this one. They want to hold it down, and again, this retake is getting more and more difficult. Dart immediately dealt with. Time is ticking away. Sentinels running out of those options. Double up, high-low. Gonna try and push them back and away. Lakia, last one left, and he will fall in the end. So, just in time here for Sentinels, I believe.
Yeah, only about a second on the clock, though.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Yeah, right on the money.
A good round from Sen there in terms of how they squeezed Gen G. That pressure coming through, double swing over towards Heaven, making sure that they dominate that angle. The Gen G players in the post plant couldn't hold it, ended up giving that up and tucking into positions like Dice and Hell. At that point, Sen have found their opportunity. Crucial kill. And Gen G gonna take their first tactical timeout of the match.
Wow.
Their first tac timeout of Champs. Coming in round 11 of map 2. Even if they get a good adjustment out of this, you know, they're not gonna put together a much better attack half on Ascent. 6 rounds is already astonishingly good.
Yeah.
But it must be said, the Cypher Deadlock comps, they tend to perform counterintuitively better on attack.
All the ways to try and fight for that extremity control. You know, you can lay down sensors, much like they're trying to do, at least Sentinels, on their own defense. But yeah, it's a, you know, quite a few unknowns, I think, of how Sentinels might be looking, at least with this composition. Tier 2, North America, has been playing this comp a lot. There's a lot of footage, a lot of playmaking possibilities as well, if John QT has been doing his homework, at least with the Annihilations and whatnot, grab net reclears.
Yeah, and I just want to say for a moment that Zekken has rebounded from bottom of the scoreboard to the top. If you look at him all year long, Zekken has been amazing. Like I said, getting better and better all year. TenZ has been consistently at the top, even though they didn't make Shanghai. Zels has still been good. It's actually been John who's dropped off in terms of his fragging, his output a little bit, compared to his astonishingly strong Madrid performance, where they lifted that trophy. I'm paying attention to John and how he gets his rifle impact in a lot of these rounds here at Champs.
Zekken not caught in the transition there, just trying to exit out of Wine, and there's plenty more players where that came from. Gen G, we're going to try and go into this one. Fast tempo, increase, TenZ taken out. Zekken followed up to trade in sight. Only gets the one down, which was Texture. Dart revealing quite a few of them. Locked down by Meteor. This is unconventional.
I like it, though. You know, we saw Sentinels before get 3 detained and still win the round. They're in a 3v4 situation here, though, and this should allow a great plan. I mean, this one also planted for short. If they wanted to send somebody on a wraparound,
very heads up.
Perhaps Lakia is going to take that option.
Right here.
Things around here. Drone's going to be used again. Set that stage here. Tag up. Got to remove it. It's first piece of util for it, but Gen G, stalwart defense that they've really cooked up here now that they've at least taken control of the site. Look at that. As soon as they hear the footsteps in the util, it's a Dart and Spam out from below, and already the players have repositioned. Spike is ticking away, and Sentinels realize it. Has to be that save, have to back away.
One enemy remaining.
How many rounds do Sentinels need, even if they were able to get pistol their first of the match and be able to carry some momentum forwards on their attack half? I think anybody that wants to see Sen recover on Ascent here, gotta be hoping that they get this round 12.
Yeah.
It's looking dire without it. An 8-4 half, not unusual on Ascent, but it's usually the other way around, where you get your defenders in the lead.
With how dominant Gen G have been on the pistol rounds, you know, if it follows the same course, you're looking at like an 8-4 turning into a 10-4.
Yeah, and at that point, it's just curtains.
Yeah.
There's no recovery there. Zelsis coming into this round with a broken economy, Stinger, Guardian, but they still have those big heavy hitter weapons of the Op and Odin.
It's a weird buy. Bit
It
of a
is.
mixture.
Zekken hasn't been able to really walk in front of these smokes, keeps getting pushed back and back, but he is getting the kills.
Take flight.
Love the util to clear out mid here. Sassy with the drone. Good timing on it, but the question is, do they hear that most of Gen G are already up in through Cat? Straight through the smoke. Disrespect is being shown by them. Sentinels do have stay main control. Shot missing. John now with the barrier mesh. Looking to lock them out of this spot here, but it will be spammed down. There's a nade in sight, but no smoke for the cross. Only propped down a little bit too late there, so Zekken happy to pick them apart. TenZ ADS stop. Can't quite manage it. I mean, it's Caron.
And the stun does nothing in A main.
Push them back and away. Gen G slowing it down, getting quirky with these timings. There's a stun. They can hear the sensors. Texture removes one of them. So much uncertainty rapid into their heads. They spot the player. Texture's shoulder just peeking out, and yet still squares up to it. The challenge is met. And now drop down onto the site. Options thoroughly opened. Gen G having to take their time in with it. You can look at the peak timing, but still missing with the shot as well. He can't quite do it. Has to pull out the shorty. Second, not a chance. Doesn't stand it. And leaves it to just two. Munchkin is low. Could be an opening. Lakia will fall.
This
Stinger
is
movement in play.
So doable for Sentinels. The health advantage is massive.
Now picking up the upgrade too with a rifle. Cam should be clearing at least a portion of it, but you don't know there's blind spots. Munchkin peeks. They know where he is. 4 seconds until the dart. Spamming away into hell. Just in case that reposition is there. Dart round towards the back. They spot the main player out. They're all falling low. And again, it has to be Munchkin as that playmaker finds the one. Peaking timing off of it. Only 5 bullets left, but a tap from Sassy as well. It's all so unlikely for him, and he needs to hit the second. Time ticking. Forced to stick it, and time not enough on Sen's side.
It's an 8-4 half where Gen G on the attack side look absolutely dominant. Trying to stamp their mark early on Ascent here at Champions. Home territory of Seoul, home territory of Ascent. I think showcasing that they really are the best in the world on this map.
Yeah.
There wasn't so much an exec in that final round as they just walked up with an operator.
Still found the openings though. I mean, listen, this team is so good at picking apart all sorts of it. And for the pistol round, that's what we're looking towards. Gen G, indomitable so far.
Red Bull gives you wings.
If there's any chances for Sentinels, of course it has to start on the pistol. I feel like I say that often with a lot of different teams, but when you're up against Gen G, who are not only trying to, make a name for themselves in their home country this time, it's home soil, but also looking like potentially one of the favorites to win the whole thing, it's another question entirely of whether they can even stand up to it.
Sentinels, they're our only team to have beaten Gen G internationally, and while that might feel like it's a positive on the side of Sen, it also speaks to the fact that Gen G got cleanly out of Swiss and stomped through Shanghai. That's a scary, scary team on the other side of the stage. And they're 8-4 up, 5 rounds away from being able to move on in their group.
Yeah. Let's take a look then. Sentinels. They're the ones that have to be the playmakers. Gen G also going for a bit of a proactive play. Zatar's crunch on the pistol.
They love running set plays on the defense side, Gen G. They will constantly try to push the tempo up. Happy to play retake.
Yeah.
Against this comp, though, I don't think they should be too happy to play retake. You're going to be running into, gravnet, trips, stuns.
For now, though, the util is going to be lacking ever so slightly onto the pistol. Zelsis forced to lock down. Watch this flank angle. Just gets barely the 2 shots off. Not enough to drop care on. So the trade is there, but Zekken taking a cheeky peek. Up through heaven, clears that one out, and now has to be aware that there is that flank occurring. Watchful eyes perched up, probably a high-low as well, and the smoke make it nice and easy. Karon trying to at least split up the site, create that timing and opening for Meteor potentially there. He's already out though, and the players are straight through and out. The whiff might cost them still. Dart forwards, forces the issue out of Texture, and they do clean it up. So Sentinels, a pistol round under their belt, maybe something to work with.
First of the series could not have come at a better time, a more needed time. It probably would have been game over had they lost that one.
Yeah.
Beautiful dart as well from Sassy. They immediately dominated those smokes that Karon threw out there, which I think is the correct play. The dart forced somebody in. Sassy deals with them. He's having a good game today, Sassy. They're going to need more than this, though. We've seen teams utilizing this Cypher Deadlock composition. You kind of piece by piece take the map. You know, take a main, throw down a sonic sensor, take a little bit of extra space, put your trip into position or something.
That's a fight to be taken here. Need a defeat though. Has to push them back and away, at least with the rifle spam. Able to take down another of these Gen G players, but he might have just done enough damage. Still, weapons are going to be exchanged, making sure that there's no waste.
And any Gen G pushes on other parts of the map should be able to be identified. You're always going to be running into a trip or a cam or somebody watching the flank.
Okay,
what is that timing?
Pure instinct from Karon, and he's TP'd in and away. There's a slight gap.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, he's caught.
You're stuck.
It's still Sentinels choose not to commit. I think they've seen enough bodies there. Signs of life from Gen G. Did they call this pause? They do have 45 seconds. You can't let anything else slip, though, if you are Sentinels. It's a 3v3 in a crossfire setup. Baiting the shots. Karon's there. Meteor alongside it. Do not lose this one, Sentinels. Your best chance in a bloody long time, and you got to clean it up. Lakia left alone. 20 seconds. Still, they don't know where this guy is, but the door's going to be closing. Nobody stepping past it. Just spots defeat. Breaking the door, trying to take the fight. It's a little bit uncertain, man. I mean, okay, they do get the anti-eco, but at the cost of losing 3 of their players, 3 of their guns is not going to be a healthy bonus.
I mean, you saw it on the faces there as Elsus and Sassy. They're both wiping their brow, literally. I know it's hot in here. Golden Boy talked about it before. It is warm in Korea right now. But that one's more of a sign of relief than a sign of the heat. Sen closed the gap to 2, but the bonus is not going to look pretty. They only kept the Phantom, Guardian. They've got a Stinger to work with here. It's not much. A bit of damage. Maybe even just building up to one of these ults like the Annihilation for John so that he could maybe work a pick in round 16. These are the kind of things that would be a success in the round, I think, for Sen.
Flash peek. Smog though from... He's pushed up in front of Karon's face. Not able to get value, just being held by the Sentinels players. They don't have particularly spread out default, but they do have somebody utility cam and a trip to hold deep B push.
Yeah, we're seeing Sentinels take a main, but they're not actually leaving utility there. Normally with this composition, I would expect to see Sonic Sensor be put down there or some kind of, you know, trip or leave a player, deposit somebody into a main.
Yeah.
Now they're going back in though. Sassy looking to try to drone and disguise the fact.
Yeah, Sentinels trying to make this one feel like it could potentially be that B split.
Yeah, that's a weird one because they faked a B split as they were droning A.
Right, so Gen G are kind of aware of this one. Munchkin is an off angle and he's got to deliver. Will do with the first. Occasion is face. Preemptive spam will lay claim to a multitude of kills. And it leaves it just down to 10s, up and over, not enough. Can't overcome it.
That Champions Trophy blinks into and out of existence, floating, tinting, taunting the players. Rifles back online, though, for Sen. An opportunity for them to showcase what they've been working on. We haven't seen them play too much of this map.
No.
But we've seen the Cypher Deadlock. We know that it's got at least some good fundamentals to work on. We're going to need to see Zalsis trading out stuff like this, though.
Yeah, there's going to be an early fight occurring into this next round. Tiles beat out by Texture.
the Cypher should be able to take a little more aggro B main control as well.
Cage triggered.
Trip broken, Zels is not ready for that one. Not looking to use his cam to take super aggro B main either. It is a bit more of a passive approach to Sen than we've seen from other teams running this comp. Tentative.
Yeah, looking for those openings, Gen G. Not to give them too much though. Shock Dart, just out of range I think to do damage enough to break the alarm bot.
That's a very weak alarm bot.
Yeah. Can't see the health bar, but I'm sure it'll be minuscule.
Be crazy if the alarm bot clutched now. 1 HP.
A bit of spam though. It's going to be exchanged now here. Turret at least broken. Meteor, he is not shy, is he? This guy is happy to push back up. Make it really difficult to take any B main control. Already breaking that cam, backing away. 38 seconds.
They got that deep wall down mid, but they didn't break the alarm bot.
What is the call?
They've got to go into a B split.
30
There's
seconds
plenty
left.
players ready to meet them. Gen G tucked up to crossfire setup. Logs to the corner. Lakia has to do a lot here. It's running and gunning to trade it out, but they weren't expecting, and again Meteor delivers. It's a death blow. And it might just be a round-winning moment. Indeed it is. A three-piece to finish it. 10-6 Gen G. Looking on pace now to just take this map away.
Yeah, that's going to knock the economy for Sentinels. Could be the death blow. I love that smoke. Everybody's throwing that same smoke now. Learn it for your ranked games as well. The one-way cross-map helps out your players to defend against the B split. Perfect from Karen, and it sets up this crossfire so beautifully. And Lucky is tucked into a corner. The Sentinels players, as they come out, they're checking stairs, wondering if someone's peeking from there. Because Meteor, he loves to play that spot.
Yeah.
Then they check switch, because you never know, Texture could be playing in that kind of position. There's just so many ways that Gen G could be threatening you on defense. It's difficult to account for them all. And even if you did know that that crossfire setup was there, good luck dealing with it. Like I said, that could have been the death blow, and Sentinels are going to take a tactical timeout to try to figure out where they can go from here.
That's a real difficult ask, I think. With how active Gen G are on their defense, it's either, you know, a bit of a trap play setup or maybe just a set play at the beginning of rounds that they will throw out. But even when they're just making sure that they can play it slow, you know, you saw in that last round, turret gets broken, Meteor immediately vacuums up the space.
Yeah.
Disrespects B main, makes sure that Sentinels can't take it with a cam, can't hold it easily.
And not only does that slow Sentinels down, but it also allows Gen G much better information. We talk all the time about Munchkin making these amazing reads on defense. Part of it's because his players are willing to contest util. And if you peek back into B main and you see 5 players on the other side and Meteor bounces, well, now that's really good info. But if Meteor's able to re-clear B main, he knows that a hit is not coming straight back through.
Yeah.
It just helps every aspect of their game. That constant war of attrition that Gen G force you to fight.
Half buys the Sentinels. Be rare to see a return on those investments. Caron still locks it up here. And spam. Being offloaded, Texture does manage to at least get 2, but it's even out and it has handed guns over.
Yeah, that's a major win for Sentinels.
Munchkin, there's a drone in his face. It's not being watched. Into the smoke. Your awareness is off the charts.
Down A.
He doesn't go for the easy kill, but now he knows that TenZ is lurking. Not long for the world. But again, another high game IQ moment from Munchkin there. He hears the drone. He knows that Sassy is going to be occupied in that moment. Instead takes the peek to the player with the gun.
Yeah, that's so good. And also getting the read that that player is going to be on the left.
Yeah.
He knows that there's a rifle down in that kind of situation, predicts the timing. I mean, timing's the drone as well, beautifully. And a situation that was looking like a potential win condition for Sentinels, ripped out of their hands so quickly. They're now going to have to find a different avenue of success. Sassy with the Odin ready to counter spam. But Texture, he hasn't been walking up B main with the op yet. This has been Meteor's domain. Are they going to expect him to be here?
Deep shot dart. It's not enough to clear this trip here. Sassy. It's a drone for a drone. Texture, he's hiding from it. Again, sowing misinformation. Shot missed though, Hunter's Fury. This feels like it's quite a committed push. And damage done, even a kill for Sassy, maybe enough to pave the way. It calls for that reinforcement. Karen instantly TPs.
Very good ult from Sassy. Very good read to now go for an A split.
They've pulled these players apart, but Munchkin again could be that thorn in their side once more. Weapon glowing, this guy is on fire. Grab net, gets that confirmation, potentially there. Flood defending in, right through the back, annihilation and clearing in and through. Sentinels do have the necessary plays. You don't want to be handing care on too many more though. They're doubled up holding this one, side by side. Bit of spam hailing down the lead, so still in it, at least for now, Sentinels.
Great call from John. As soon as you hear that ult being used, I think it's very likely they're sticking the teleport into back B. He decides to send things on an A split, anticipating that A is weaker. And Munchkin's already realized what's happening and sent a couple players over there, but Sen grouped up, decisive, love to see it. And Sassy continues to have one of the best games that I've seen from him in a long time.
Oh yeah.
He was top of the scoreboard for a hot minute there on Haven, and now he's back up, at least on the Sentinel side, with 13 kills. Having a great day.
Doesn't get much easier though. This time Texture going walkabout up through mid. Angle's being held for him. He's hoping that somebody will just wade right into it. Dash is fading. This is hyper committed.
This is the kind of thing that Zekken just couldn't do.
Zekken's holding to pixel angle. Oh, but no! Just missed it. The cross-up and Texture takes it away. Caron, heavy committed now into bottom mid. He needs to be defended and he needs some help to get out of here. That's what the drone is for. Up and over.
Right here.
Clears the path.
When Lakia and Karen are willing to be that aggressive, it allows Texture to do this.
This is not potentially getting cleared off. Angle traded. But again, reinforcements are there. Out through the back of the side. That's TenZ committing! Caron! He dominates the smoke. He will not be stopped. And a paranoia puts TenZ in his place.
The recon in that position is supposed to stop Karen from doing that. Your recon, he's caught out in the open, has to break it, gives away his position, forced to swing into the smoke. He's checkmated. He's swinging into a smoke that two of the people are already in. He can't get away with it. Opened up nicely with Gen G's aggression, which, like I said, their comp benefits them. Not something that Sentinels could ever really do, support Zekken in that kind of way on their defense half. But monster performance from Karen, up to 20 kills.
The cams are broken. One more round that's needed here for Gen G for their opening match of champs. They've not slowed down a beat. Up and over. Blazestorm in the hands. Texture is releasing. Just absolutely unbelievable form.
I can't use that.
Sentinels left to stew and simmer.
Knives back out though for Zekken.
Munchkin will fade away. Now Zauber back to the wall. Texture reveals his position. 3 left available to work with. Blinded up Meteor. He spots it, betrayed by the barrel. A 2-0 finish. Gen G looking large and in charge, not slowing down from prior performances. They are aiming and gunning for that trophy.
Revenge for the grand finals of Masters Madrid. Both of these teams were tied at 4 maps apiece heading into the match today. And now Gen G have taken the lead, both in terms of that head-to-head series all year and in the maps. I think they outclassed Sentinels today. They showcased that divergence of the trajectories for